Hi everyone, so welcome to 30th of May lesson. This lesson is going to be the lesson for Thursday, and yes, it's going to be your last lesson too. So yes, that was a very good news for you, right? Fine. So of course after this there will be no more watching videos and doing homeworks. Mm, so hopefully we will discuss the homework for today, for yesterday, which we did, and then we will just complete the lesson just for today. Of course, there will be no homeworks, but if you do it, it's better for you. But before everything, we of course have to check the homework. So starting with question number 4, this was the homework for lesson 2, right? So question number 4, we had to find the surface area of the rectangular prisms. So as you can see, the measurements are given here. The height is 4, the width is 1, and the length is 5. So all what we have to do is write the correct measurements on each corresponding side, and then we have to name the faces and then find the surface area. So let's start from here. If this length is 5, of course the opposite side of that is also going to be 5 inches. So if this is 4, the height is 4, the opposite side of that is also going to be 4 inches, right? And if the width is 1, so the opposite side of this short side is this, so this is also going to be 1 inch. Fine. So now we have the measurements, so let's name them as face A and face B and face C. So starting with area of A, so area of A is equal to, the length is 5 and the width is 4, so that's going to give you 20 inches, square inches. Okay, now we don't stop there. Of course, we multiply that by 2 because you have to have two faces, the front face and the one behind. So that's going to give you 40 square inches. Okay, now the next one is going to be area of B. Again, so area of B means the top and the bottom. So the length is going to be 5, but the width is going to be 1 here because that's a very short side. So that's going to be 5, and 5 multiplied by 1 equals 5. Then you multiply that by 2 because top and bottom. So that's going to give you 10 square inches. Fine. Next, oh, I forgot to put the one here. Fine. The next one is the face or area of C. So let's find the area of C now. Area of C is going to be equal to, this is C. So the length is 4 and the width is 1. So 4 multiplied by 1 equals 4. And then you multiply that by 2 again, which is equal to 8 square inches. Now, all what you have to do is, you have to find the surface area. The surface area equals 40 plus 10 plus 8. So 40 plus 10 is 50. 50 plus 8 is equal to 58 square inches. Right? So the next one again is similar. So I'm not going to do the steps for this because it's of course going to be same. You will name the opposite what do you say, the opposite part with the same measurement. So this is going to be 6.5, this is going to be 3, and this is going to be 2. So if you find out all that, the answer for this question, of course, you have to be getting as 77 square feet. Okay, now if you don't get this answer, do go back and check your multiplication or addition. There will be a mistake. Now if you have done it perfectly, it will be 77 square feet because you will multiply 6.5 by 3 and then multiply that by 2. Then again you will multiply 6.5 by 2 and multiply by 2 again. Then multiply 3 by 2 and then multiply by 2 again. If you add up all of them, you will be getting 77 square feet. Okay, moving to problem solving. Jeremiah is covering a cereal box with fabric for a school project. If the box is 6 inches long by 2 inches wide by 14 inches high, how much surface area does Jeremiah have to cover? So it's going to be a similar box like this, but it's a cereal box like the one which we did yesterday. So if the box is 6 inches long by 2 inches, so it's going to be 6 here, 2 here, and 14 up because it's a cereal box. It's going to be a tall one. Okay, now if you have all that, and again you will have to name all I'm not drawing all the way the cereal box again because yesterday I already showed you one. So the steps are going to be the same. So you will have to follow the same steps. If you follow the same steps, you will be getting the area, surface area as 248 square inches. Okay, so the method is the same. The steps are going to be the same, only the numbers are different. So if you would have got the picture correctly, then your answer has to be 248 square inches. Okay, now the same one, Tia is making a case for her calculator. It is a rectangular prism that will be 3.5 inches long by 1 inch wide and 10 inches high. How much material means how much is the surface area? Now again, it's the similar one. Only the problem here is it's going to be a decimal. So I hope you girls have, I know you girls would have done it perfectly. So if you would have done, your answer has to be 97 square inches. Okay, so you will follow the same steps. That's why I'm not keeping on repeating. You have to do the same steps, only the measurements will change. So you will have to multiply 3.5 by 1 and then multiply by 2, then 10 by 3.5 and then multiply by 2 and then 1 by 10 multiply by 2. You will be getting the answer as 97 square inches. Okay, now this question on the next page, Gabriela drew a net of rectangular prism on centimeter grid paper. If the prism is 7 centimeter long by 10 centimeter wide and 8 centimeter high, how many grid squares does the net cover? So again, it's the same. It's a rectangular prism. Length is 7, width is 10, and the height is 8. Again, very similar steps, I mean very same steps. So the answer for this will be 412 squares, because they did not give us any measurements, right? Okay, they gave us 6 centimeter, but they want you to find it in grids. Grids means this one. So you just there, right there as 412 squares, which means you'll multiply 7 by 10 and then multiply by 2 and then multiply 8 by 7 multiply by 2, 10 by 8 multiply by 2. We will get the answer as 412. Next question is, Ben bought a cell phone that came in a box shaped like a rectangular prism. The box is 5 inches long, 3 inches wide, 2 inches high. What is the surface area of the box? Now the surface area of the box will be 62 square inches. I don't need to be repeating the steps because they are all the same. I'll just tell orally what you need to be doing. You will have to multiply 5 by 3 and then multiply by 2, then 3 by 2 and then multiply by 2, and then 5 by 2 and then multiply by 2. In fact, it's all these three numbers have to get multiplied by each other. If you are not using a diagram, the tip here is multiply each of them again and like by each other and then multiply by 2. Okay, hopefully all your answers would have been right. So come on, let's move on to today's lesson. Before you start today's lesson, I want you to watch the dog for the last time today. Okay, so that's going to be the last time you're seeing your dog, seeing the dog, because of course in grade 7 you will not get it. So watch and see what he has to tell you today.
Hello there. Yesterday, Sherry Brown's art class made some crafts in the park. Sounds like fun. Sherry decided to paint this triangular prism. She painted all the faces. I wonder how many square inches she covered with paint. Let's see if we can find out. I think we're talking about surface area here. Maybe using this net can help us out. Looks like there are 2 triangular bases and 3 rectangular bases. I think we need to find the area of each of the faces and bases. Come on, let's see how it's done. Let's explore how to find the surface area of a prism. Let's unlock this problem. You can use a net. Let's explore how to find how can you use a net to find the surface area of this prism? What net?
Okay, now why did I forward that part? Because already we know to find the area of surface area of rectangular prism and surface area of a cube. This is something new for us, the triangular prism. So that's why I just dragged it. So you just watch this and then we'll go back and do the class. The questions in the book.
Can you draw for this solid figure? The figure is a triangular prism. The net shows each face of the prism. Triangular prisms include rectangular faces and triangular bases. What formula do you use to find the area of a rectangular face? The formula for the area of a rectangle is length times width. What formula do you use to find the area of a triangular base? The formula for the area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. Use the formulas to find the area of each rectangular face.
Okay, so we have to do this. So let's do it together. These are the two formulas. As you know, this is a triangular prism, so the bases would be two triangles. So a little bit different. Other than that, the others are rectangles. So here we have A. So they want you to find the area of A. So you just multiply the length by the width. So 5 multiplied by 2 is 20. It's going to give you 100, right? Then face of B. Now B is going to be 20 because this is 20. So the opposite side is also going to be 20. So 20 multiplied by 13 is going to give you 260. 2 multiplied by 13 is 26 and then add the 0. Now face C, okay, so again, this is 10 because, this is 20 because all of them are, this is 20, this is 20. So the opposite of that is also going to be 20. 20 multiplied by 12 is going to give you 240. Okay, so let's check.
Excellent. The correct answers are 100, 260, and 240. Use the formulas to find the area of each triangular base.
Okay, so we know the area of triangle is half BH. So half, the base is 5 and the height is going to be what? Height is going to be 12 because see this side they gave us 12. See, this is going to be the height of the triangle. So half multiplied by 5 multiplied by 12. So half of 12 is 6. 6 fives are going to give you 30. Similarly, it's the same one. So let's check.
Excellent. The correct answers are 30 and 30. The bases are congruent, so they have the same area. Now, find the sum of the areas of the faces.
So all what we have to do is we are going to add up all of them. So let's add it together. 100, this is going to give you 500. 260 plus 240 is going to give you 500. So this is going to give you 600 and then 30, 30, 660 square centimeters.
Well done. The correct answer is 660 square centimeters. The surface area of the prism is 660 square centimeters.
Okay, so that's it. I think it's time to say bye to the dog. He's been helping us from almost 1.5 months, right? Okay, so let's move on to our lesson for today. That's going to be lesson 3. Fine. So I'm not going to be doing all this again because it's a similar question. There are similar questions which we have been doing for the past 2 days. So it's a rectangular prism again. So you girls know now how to find the area, surface area of rectangular prism. So I will just show you how to find the area of a triangular prism. Okay. So as you can see that there are 2 triangle bases, right? So this is one base and this is going to be another base. So in these 2 bases, we have to get the measurements. So if you look at it, now this is a rectangle, okay? So the length of rectangle is 13 and width, length is 10, width is 13. However you take, you're going to be multiplying them, okay? So what you're going to be doing here is they have given you the net here. See, if you draw this net like It's not necessary you draw, but if you draw, it's easy. That's all. So let's complete this. Area of bases A and E. So they want you to find the area of A and E, which both of them are triangles. So for finding the triangles, we need the base as well as the height. So the base is 5, base is this down part, and the height is 12. So that's going to be half multiplied by 12 multiplied by 5, which is going to give you 30. Okay, so the area of 1 is going to be 30. Fine. So next one, area of face B. Now this is B. So what are we going to multiply? We are going to multiply the length with the width. So 5 multiplied by 10, which is going to give us 50. Right? Now area of C. Why did it become small? Okay, area of C. So that's going to be this one. Again, it's a rectangle. So we'll be using the formula LW. So the length is going to be this. Now, if this is 10, this is also going to be 10. So 10 multiplied by 12. So that's going to be 10 multiplied by 12, which is going to give you 120. Area of D is going to be 10 multiplied by 13. So 10 multiplied by 13 is going to give you 130. Now surface area, you have to of course multiply this thing with 2 because there are two triangles. So you multiply 2 with 30. Okay, so that's going to give you a 60 and then 60, and you will have to add all the other measurements. 60 plus 50 plus 120 plus 130 is going to give you how much? How much is that going to give you? It's mental math. Come on, do it fast. That's going to give you 360. And don't forget the units. It should be in square inches. So the surface area of the triangular prism is 360 square inches. Okay, so this is how you have to find the area of a triangular prism. Now this also I'm not doing because you all know how to find the area of a cube. You just find the area of one face, okay, and then multiply it by 6. Now you don't need to be doing all these things. Simple. See, another way is 6 square. So you find the area of one face, so that's going to be 25. Multiply that by 6 because the cube has equal 6 square faces. So you will not have any problem in that. Okay, let's do this question together. Okay, so this is again going to be a triangular pyramid, right? So first let's check about these triangles. Okay, now the base of the triangle is 8 and the height of the triangle is 6. We know that. Okay, so let's check this rectangle here. The length of the rectangle is 10 and the width of the rectangle is 16. Now first let's name these measurements so that it will not be difficult for us when we need it. Right? So if this is 16, right, which is the opposite of that? You can see this dotted line here. This is going to be 16. So let me write down there 16. Okay. Now if this base is 8, what is the next thing which is going to be 8? This is going to be 8. Okay. Now if this is 10, what else is going to be 10? This is going to be 10 as well. Now if this is 16, this part is going to be 16 also. So first let's find the area of triangle. Area of triangle. I'm just writing the short forms. Okay. So that's going to be half multiplied by 8 multiplied by 6. So half of 8 is 4. 4, 6 are going to be 24. This is the area of one triangle. So we need for 2 because the bases. Here one triangle, there one triangle. So it's going to be 48. Okay. Now let's move to area of this rectangle. Let's name this rectangle as A. Okay. So area of A is going to be equal to 16 multiplied by 10 because length multiplied by the width, or 10 multiplied by 16, that's going to give you 160. Okay, now What we are going to do now is we just found the area of this front part, that is 8. Okay, now we are going to find the area of this rectangle which is behind. Now to find the area of that rectangle, we have to know the length as well as the width. Now which is the opposite side of this? We have the length already, we know it is 16. Okay, which is going to be the width of this, I mean opposite side. If you look at it carefully, this is going to be the opposite side of this, right? So if this side is 6, that side is also going to be 6. So let's name this as B. Okay, so let's find the area of B. A, okay, area of B, that's going to be equal to 16 multiplied by 6, because the length is 6 and the width is 6. Length is 16, width is 6. So that's going to give me 96 square centimeter. Now, are we done with it? Of course not. We have one more thing, the base. We did not calculate the area of the base. We only calculated it for this part which is on top and the other part which is on the left. Now we need to calculate it for the the base. So the base, the length is going to be 8. Okay, as this is the base, you can see this down part here, this is going to be the base. So that's going to be 8, and then the length is going to be 16. So that's the area of C, which we name the base. That's going to be 8 multiplied by 16, which is going to give you 8 6 are 48, and then 128. Okay, so we have found, now there are five faces, right, for the um, triangular prism, two triangles and three rectangles. So we have found the area of all of them, two triangles here and the area of three rectangles. So what we are going to do is we are going to add them all. Surface area is going to be equal to 48 plus 160 plus 128 plus 96, I forgot the 96, which is going to be equal to 432 square centimeter. So this is the answer for question number 2. Okay, now question number 3 I'm not going to do. 4 also I will not do. 5 also I will not do, because they all are the same kinds of questions we did in lesson 2. All of them are rectangular prisms, as you can see, right? So that's nothing new to learn for you, because you already know it. Okay, so that brings us to the end of this lesson, because there was just one question which I wanted to show you, how to find the area of triangular prism. That's all. So now I cannot even say that do the homework, because of course there's going to be a last video, right? So if you are doing, you do it and then send it to me. Sure, I will tell you whether the answers are right or not. It's okay. So if you're doing the homework, do it and then send it to me. So until we meet again, inshallah, take care of yourselves. Have a great holiday ahead, and do don't forget to keep washing your hands and stay safe inside your houses. Okay, so hopefully looking forward to meet you all. Happy holidays.